Hey guys, welcome back to Sow Love. This is June 3rd and I am long overdue for a garden tour. So you'll see a garden tour today, and then you'll see a separate video with some of the harvests of some of the things that you see growing. So please do continue to like, share, and subscribe. Join me on my Instagram page at Sow Love Garden, where I do post daily updates. Since the last garden tour, a lot has changed out here. So I am long overdue, so excuse me for that, but let's get started on the tour. All right, so this first bed, you'll see there is some zucchini that needs to be harvested. This is my first year growing the round zucchini. So you'll see 1 and 2, and then there's another one coming in there. So I have been coming out, me and the kids, and taking one of the male squash blooms and pollinating as much as I can. I've missed a couple, which you'll see throughout the tour, but we are doing the best at getting everything, or trying to make sure everything is pollinated. Carrots here, and as y'all know, the strawberry plants here, olive tree, and this is a Meyer lemon tree I actually just got maybe a couple weeks ago. And I think it went into a little bit of a shock being out in the sun, so there's some sunburn, but there is also some new leaf, new foliage forming. So before I make any big decisions on if I'm going to move it, I'm going to give it a little more time just to see what happens. Another strawberry planter right here, and I have been trying to remove the runners as I see them. And then beets and chard growing right here. And these are some of the marigolds that I started from seed. So those are scattered throughout the garden. And then there's a purple bell pepper that's coming in right here. So these are more carrots planted right here. Another strawberry planter, which we've been harvesting strawberries for the most part every day. Another little planter with some flowers right there. And then you'll see some ground cherries. There's 2 more planted over there, more marigolds, eggplant, corn, just kind of a variety of things. This is mugwort. I tried to scatter some strawberry spinach, but it doesn't look like that came up. Bell pepper planted right there. There's some longevity spinach and some okra. And these are some gray sugar peas, which those have just started kind of producing. It took them a long time to actually start producing, but they have started. And then you'll see the corn is starting to tassel here. I did take one of these, see the little bugs and pests. I'm seeing more and more of those. And I just kind of squish them. I think those were little leaf bugs. So I did take one of the tassels from here and kind of rake them across the corn just to kind of make sure that each one is pollinated. And I think these are all a multicolored corn. I honestly can't remember. There's some more of the ground cherries here. And I think this is a ground cherry right there as well. Some holy basil, which smells amazing. Here's a little pot. I did sprinkle some huckleberry seeds in, which definitely need to be thinned out. I'm going to let those get a little bit bigger before I start thinning them out. There's 2 cucumber plants planted there as well. And then over here, this is the passion flower vine, which I'm going to try to keep controlled, allow it to grow up this trellis and train it to go in a certain direction along the fence line, but we'll see how that goes. And then 2 tomato plants. This is a cucumber plant right here, which I'm also going to try to train to go up that trellis on the fence line. Then the kiwi is not doing well at all. It actually looked like it was doing good. I cut it back, and then it looked like it was doing it good again, and it keeps doing this number. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna be successful with that. Back here along the fence line, there are some pots. I actually ended up splitting up the teapot that I had because it got way too overcrowded with the mint, which, you know, mint is like a bully, it takes over. So there's some variegated mint, forever purple, some snapdragons, lemon verbena planted there, and there's some more mint in that one, some orange mint, strawberry, zinnia, all along the fence line there. And then the cabbage looper has found my stash of radish and rutabaga and beets. So it is pretty much going wild, but there is, you know, and I don't know if it's the roly-polies either. I don't know if y'all can see the roly-polies eating the or crawling along the leaves as well, but something is getting to it. But the rutabagas are looking pretty good, so I'll be harvesting these soon. Cut off the leaves. I did want to, before I saw all the damage, and it was like right when I had the idea to cook up all the leaves and kind of treat them like collard greens. It didn't take any time for the damage to start showing the way it is. So there goes that. But I will get a root harvest, and you can see there's some beets and stuff like that planted in there. So over here, and this looks like possible, it either needs nitrogen, which we're getting some rain today, so I'll probably be doing a nitrogen or fertilizing in the coming days. But the yellowing of the leaves tells me something is not right. And I have been coming out and picking off the vine borer eggs as I see them, but sometimes they are just hard to spot. So we'll see how the pumpkin harvest goes this year. You can see that pumpkin there didn't get pollinated. If y'all can see that or not. That one right there is turning yellow. But underneath here are some cabbages and then some bolting lettuce in this bed. The bachelor buttons are looking really pretty. This is my first year growing these. And it's just kind of a assortment of colors, mostly blues and purples. A little bit of pink in there. So I'm really liking those. Not sure if it was the best spot for them. It looks like they need to be a little more supported. So I'll make notes for that on the next time I plant those. More nasturtiums tucked in. There's a little tomato plant tucked here on the side. I ended up moving the okra kind of throughout the garden that was here just because I didn't want it to get too stunted by the growing pumpkin vine. So I'll point those out as we go through the garden. But zinnia seeds I saved from last year, you can see the strawberries are doing pretty good. Like I said, we've been harvesting about a handful each day of strawberries. Lantana that I brought with me is doing pretty good. And serviceberry and aronia berry, those are looking okay. So these are the tomato plants, which if y'all remember a video I did, I put 4 in this grow bag along with some marigolds, and they're doing pretty good so far. They do need some fertilizing. So it's been about a couple weeks since I've done that. So I'll come out and fertilize after the rain. And looking at this other bed, there are more tomatoes and sunflowers back here, and there's quite a few tomatoes coming in. You can see that one there. I think that's the blueberry tomato, and then there's another one back there, and there's another little truss of tomatoes coming in. So they're coming in for sure. That's gonna be a big one. See that big flower there? So you do want to kind of tickle the blooms a little bit just to make sure that they're getting pollinated as much as you can. More marigold that I started from seed. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think it's one of the tall yellow multi-head sunflowers. It's a perennial type sunflower that I brought with me, but we'll see what that is. These are some more marigolds that I started from seed, which are really tall. Look how tall they are. They're almost as tall as the zinnias back there. More chamomile, which I've been harvesting that pretty much every couple days. And our melons are off to the trellis. So that's looking pretty good there. No signs of any melons yet. Bloomed, but I don't see any melons coming in just yet. So we can just go up this way. There are some beans, which I was harvesting beans the other day and I accidentally broke that one. So this may or may not, make new growth, but I did go in and do some succession planting. So I just kind of stuck in some more beans just to kind of keep the production going. But the beans are really looking really, really good. Like all the plants are loaded. I've already done a harvest. So I'll be doing another harvest of beans, more lettuce here, and then some tomatoes planted in there. These I started later than, of course, the larger ones. So lots of different tomatoes. And then there's some cucumber, one here and one back there. These are all different types of squash. And I tucked in some sunflower seeds. There's one of the okra plants that I moved. And you can see all the squash that is coming in. Let's make sure y'all can see that. It's looking pretty good. These are some sunset runner beans, which I'm hoping will climb over this trellis. These are a different type of pole bean. I think these are the noodle beans, actually, that have already started climbing. So that is very hopeful. More beans planted around the sides. And like I said, I have already done some succession planting of some beans. So when these kind of fizzle out, the other seeds that I planted will be starting. So you can see they are pretty loaded. More beans here. More. Okay, so that's awesome. And then there is squash here in the middle. Oops, bug, y'all. There's squash there. And then this is the cucuzzi squash. Or is that the, no, yeah, that's the cucuzzi gourd that's coming up there. So I want to make sure this gets pollinated. So in the morning I'll come out. In the morning, these are more likely to be open. So I'll come out in the morning and just kind of make sure they're hand pollinated. There's that cucuzzi. All right, so this is the oca right here. And then I tucked in, I believe these are cucumbers right there. And then there is a tomato plant tucked in here as well. And this one's a little bit weird, weirdly shaping there. But it's looking pretty good. The sweet potatoes I did pot up a couple days ago. So there's a video that should have come out already to where you can see how I did those. And then this has, gosh, I can't remember what I planted in here. Let's see if this, oh, that's a wax melon. So that's coming up. And then this was actually a sucker that I took off. It had gotten kind of big. So I just stuck it in just to kind of see, and it's doing all right. These are Tiny Tim tomatoes, which that's a small determinate variety. So we'll see how that does. And then moringa, 2 more lemon trees. And then that's lemon balm. And this is a lemon scented gum tree, which is supposed to hopefully propel mosquitoes. And I'm trying to wait for the rain. As you can see, well, it's not too bad. Because I did come out and water yesterday, but I wasn't going to water today because it's supposed to rain tonight, which we are desperately in need of some rain. So this was this place of the teapot that I had. So I just removed the chamomile, and guys, this is one plant. So you can see how big chamomile can get. And it's been so productive. Like I come out and harvest the chamomile, and like the more, of course, you harvest, the more blooms you get. So continue to harvest your flowers and things like that, because it'll reward you with more different herbs here. And the borage is finally starting to set a flower bloom. So I'm so excited to have that. And this is the first year I'm growing that in the garden. More strawberries. You can see here's some that will need to be picked. And then there's some more strawberries here. Okay, another herb bed. And you can see the onions are still, you know, I've been cutting off the scallions kind of as I need them. They're the tops. So it keeps rewarding me with more and more until I start to see them dying back. All right, another lemon tree right here. And this one and those other two small ones that I just showed you were started from seed. So they're doing pretty good. I stuck in some thyme and a nasturtium and a creeping jenny plant. There, more herbs here. You can see there's another borage that's starting to set off a little flower bloom. These are different herbs as well. Catnip, oregano, sweet marjoram, all different kind of things in there. Pineapple, sage, different types of sage. Another pot of strawberry plants here. And we'll just kind of keep walking down. And this is the blue pea, which looks like, I thought this was edible, but I guess it's not because it's letting off. This also took a long time to bloom. And then the pods took a long time to form as well. So I know these can be used, you know, to like kind of make a dye, but I haven't really been doing anything with them, but just admiring the pretty colors. And there are aphids on here. So I've been spraying these off, you know, as I see them with water hose. You know, so I'll probably end up doing that later today. This is a barrel, which I planted a melon here, but it never showed any signs of coming up. So I'll make another decision about what I'm going to plant in the center of that pot. More carrots here that we harvested, and some are kind of starting to show their shoulders a little bit, but you know, not really. Too many of them are. Tomatillos, I'm going to clear this lettuce out pretty soon, and I'm going to stick in, what did I say I was going to stick in? I was going to allow some more watermelon to climb over this trellis, and possibly a pumpkin, a smaller pumpkin, maybe. So we'll see what happens with that. Lemon scented gum, another moringa tree there, and there is some corn tucked in there as well. Oh, and guys, the walking onions are finally kind of starting to walk. So this little bud right here will get heavy and eventually tip over like this one did, and it'll form more onions. Okay, so it'll keep on doing that. So I might need to move these because it's probably not the best place for these. But I'm not exactly sure where to put them. I just stuck them here just to kind of see how they do. So it's kind of cool seeing them start to walk though. And the poppies have just been blooming like crazy all season. This is my first year growing poppies, and I'm loving them. So these will definitely be growing again. Some more of that mint that I broke up from that teapot. Hey guys, so I'll do this video in parts. This is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. See you soon.
Everybody loves Sow Love Garden. Sow Love. Everybody loves Sow Love Garden. Sow Love.